Your brain has a rule, and it never asked for your permission. The moment someone goes quiet, something inside you reacts, and it reacts as if your life were in danger. Your chest tightens, and your thoughts start racing. You replay the last conversation, and you search for the exact moment everything changed. You are not imagining this, and you are not being dramatic. This feeling has a name, and neuroscience has studied it for decades. In 2003, researchers at UCLA ran an experiment, and it changed how we understand emotional pain. They placed people inside an fMRI scanner, and participants played a simple ball-tossing game. 2 other players joined them, and those players were not real. At some point, the researchers cut the participant out, and no one passed the ball anymore. The brain scans showed something remarkable, and specific regions lit up during exclusion. Those same regions activate during physical injury. Your brain barely distinguishes a broken bone from a broken connection. Rejection is processed as a threat, and it is treated as a threat to survival. This is why the panic feels so real, and it is not weakness. It is your nervous system doing its job, built thousands of years ago when losing your place in the group meant losing food and protection. Being cut off was not an inconvenience, it was a death sentence. Your amygdala still remembers this, and it cannot tell a tiger from a text left unread. This ancient alarm keeps firing today, and social distance happens constantly now. Most of it has nothing to do with your worth. Something written 2,000 years ago becomes relevant here, and the Stoics never had an fMRI scanner. But they mapped this territory with precision. They understood the mind's panic long before neuroscience could prove it. Epictetus once lived as a slave, and he later became one of Rome's great philosophers. His teaching rested on one distinction: some things depend on you, and other things do not. Whether someone stays close or answers your message is not up to you. What depends on you is your response. Suffering begins the moment we grasp for what was never ours. Marcus Aurelius ruled the most powerful empire alive, and he still wrote private notes to himself. He never meant for anyone to read them. In those notes, he echoed what modern psychology now calls cognitive reappraisal. He reminded himself that other people's choices belong to them. He wrote that needing something desperately means losing control of yourself. 2,000 years before brain scans existed, he had already found the trap. The panic is not caused by the distance itself. It is caused by the story your mind builds around it. This is not about numbness, and the Stoics never asked anyone to feel nothing. They pointed toward something more useful, and when your brain sounds the alarm, you have a choice. You can spiral into checking a profile 40 times, and you can reread old messages for clues. You can build elaborate theories about your mistakes, or you can name the alarm for what it is. It is an ancient signal misfiring in a modern world. You can choose your next action deliberately. Modern psychology confirms much of this, and cognitive behavioral therapy rests on a similar idea. The event itself rarely determines the pain, and the interpretation attached to it does. Someone going quiet can mean many things, and they might be overwhelmed. They might be tired, and they might be distracted by their own life. A panicked brain jumps to the worst explanation, and that explanation feels urgent. Urgency keeps the alarm engaged. Seneca captured this with brutal clarity, and he said we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Most of what destroys your peace is not happening right now. It is happening inside your head, and it lives in the story your anxious mind keeps rewriting. The distance may be real, and the catastrophe around it usually is not. So, what do you actually do? First, notice the sensation without obeying it. The tightness is real, but it is not a command. Second, separate what is yours to control. You cannot control their choices or timeline, but you can control your own honesty and your own life. Third, remember the panic is a signal, not a verdict. It tells you connection matters, not that you are unworthy. The most emotionally secure people are not numb, and they feel the alarm fully. They understand exactly why it rings, and they simply refuse to let it drive the car. That is not coldness, and that is discipline. Epictetus described it centuries ago, and a brain scanner has finally confirmed it. There is another detail from that same UCLA study, and it rarely gets mentioned. Researchers found something about resilience. People who scored higher on resilience showed less brain activation during exclusion. In other words, the alarm system is not fixed, and it can be trained. The intensity of your panic is not permanent, and it is a pattern. Patterns shift with repetition, and Marcus Aurelius trained himself through daily writing. Epictetus trained his students through relentless questioning. This turns Stoic practice into something closer to exercise. Every time you catch a spiral and redirect it, something happens. You are teaching your amygdala a new lesson, and you are showing it that this distance is not danger. Neuroscientists call this extinction learning, and the Stoics simply called it discipline. Both names point to the same mechanism, and it grows through repetition, not a single act of willpower. None of this erases sadness immediately, and it does not mean you stop caring about people. Caring was never the problem the Stoics targeted, and the real problem was always the desperate grip. That grip turns caring into control, and it turns an ordinary moment of distance into an emergency. The goal was never indifference, and the goal was clarity. Clarity lets you love fully. It lets your peace stay independent of someone else's next move. The alarm will keep ringing, and that part of your brain is ancient. It is not going anywhere. What you do after it rings is still yours to decide, every single time. Think about the last time this happened to you, and someone stopped replying as fast. Your mind probably built a whole story in seconds, and that story felt urgent and certain. Most of the time, it was fiction, and it was your ancient brain filling gaps with fear. This is not a flaw in your character, and it is simply how the nervous system was built. The Stoics used a practical exercise for this, and they called it the view from above. Imagine watching this exact moment from far away, and imagine seeing yourself checking your phone again. From that distance, the moment looks smaller, and it looks like one wave in a long ocean. This is not denial, and it is perspective. Neuroscience offers a similar tool under a different name, and it is called cognitive distancing. You separate yourself from the thought instead of merging with it. A thought like, "They are leaving me," becomes something else. "I am having the thought that they are leaving me." That small shift changes everything. Marcus Aurelius often paused before reacting to setbacks, and he treated that pause as sacred. Epictetus told his students to examine every impression first, and he said it deserved a second look before belief. This is the real difference between ancient wisdom and modern panic. Panic rewards the first reaction, and Stoicism rewards the pause. The pause is where freedom actually lives. So, the next time distance appears, try the pause and name the alarm instead of obeying it. Try the view from above, and none of this erases the discomfort completely. But it gives you back a few seconds of choice, and those seconds, repeated enough times, become a different kind of life.